If you didn't know by now, big wheels are out and old school wheels are back in. But if you own a 2005 or up GM truck or SUV, 16-inch wheels and smaller, they don't fit. So today, I'm gonna take these 16-inch wheels and I'm gonna show you the best way to put them on a stock height vehicle without having to lift it or level it at all. All right, so today I'm putting on some 16-inch welds on my wife's 2016 Yukon. Now, obviously, anything 05 up's not gonna just fit a 16. It has to at least be a 17. But I'm gonna use wheel spacers, and I'll show you the perfect size spacer that you can put on your truck or SUV, so that way you can run these wheels and not have to worry about leveling it or lifting it or anything. This way you can still get the look you want without having to worry about having all the problems of lifting or leveling or anything like that. So I'll show you what exactly you need and how to do it. All right, so here's the deal. Obviously, this is all pretty simple. You throw on a spacer, you can put on your wheels, end of day. You only need the spacer so it can clear the caliper, and then you have no problems. But the problem is, on a vehicle that's not lifted, that, you know, even if it does have a leveling kit or it's factory height, whatever, you can't really just throw on a 2-inch spacer that most people are gonna run. Then you're gonna start dealing with problems of it rubbing everywhere. And I didn't want to have that problem. So I did a lot of measuring to see what would work best, and what's going to be the best solution for this is doing an 1.5-inch spacer. Now the problem is it takes at least a 1.75-inch spacer so that you don't have to deal with the stud sticking out. Now when you put this spacer on, you can see they do stick out. They stick out about 1/4 inch. Now, even running a 1.75 spacer, that's really pushing it on how far it's putting it out, and then you're gonna have to deal with it hitting on the bumper and the fender. And I didn't really want to have to trim on anything. I just, you know, I want to be able to leave it alone and not mess with it. So what seemed to measure out and be the right size would be this 1.5 inch. And it works great because you actually don't even have to get into the studs. You can just take this end off of them, and what we'll do is we'll just take a cutoff wheel. We'll cut off just the ends of these studs, and that way we can put our spacer on, mount everything up, everything will sit fine, but we don't have to worry about if we ever want to take a spacer off, put back factory wheels, whatever. We've not just ruined our studs. The only thing we took off is just this little end. And that way, it's all gonna work, but we don't have to make it any wider than it has to be so that we can fit everything right. So we'll cut these off, get this mounted up, throw the wheel on, and see how it fits. I know it's kind of hard to see and it's really hard to film this, but you can see it does all clear. Now, it's super tight, but the caliper, if I can show you right here, it doesn't actually start getting bigger to this last little bit, and that spacer gets it off just enough where once it gets really big where it won't clear, the spacer does keep it off of it. So I mean, it couldn't be any smaller. Like, you couldn't do 1.25 inches or anything like that. So the 1.5 inches is definitely as small as you can go, but really it is the perfect size. Well, one wheel is done and on. Now I'll get the other side done. I won't make you watch that because that'd be kind of boring. You already saw it once. So I'll get that done and then we'll see what it looks like. All right, well, I guess that will wrap it up then. In my opinion, I think it looks awesome. I love that small wheel and tire setup. I'm kind of new to all this. I've always been into big wheels and tires and stuff, but I really like this. It's grown on me a lot, and I want to be able to run it on some of my vehicles, but for the most part, everything's an 05 up. So it's nice being able to put a setup on something and, you know, not having to lift it crazy high or even having to put a leveling kit on it. For anyone wondering, the wheels are a 16x8 weld sidewinder and the tires are a 265/75/16. So everything fits great. I'm real tickled with that, and I think it looks awesome. So I brought it out here so everyone can see that, you know, I'm not just telling you everything works. It does drive down the road. It doesn't have any issues. Everything does clear, but I guess I'm just gonna drive it around and make sure it doesn't have any issues. But I guess that'll be it, and I'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you in another video.